Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Posey, your favorite reading specialist. Today I want to introduce to you or maybe review with you sound boxes, also known as Elkonin boxes. I use these with my students regardless of their skill, regardless of their reading level. I use these to help them break up words, which helps them learn how to read and learn how to spell. So with the sound boxes, each dot or each box represents a sound part of a word. So for example, if we were working on CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant words, like our really basic and simple words, each one of these boxes will get its own sound. Now, when you're doing sound boxes, you can either include writing, which is known as orthographic mapping, or you can do this strictly with sound. That is your phonological phonemic awareness. So if I gave a student the word mat, I would ask them to point to a dot that corresponds with each sound in a word. So for example, if the word was mat, I would have the student then repeat the word. So mat, what's the word? The student would say mat, and then I would have them point to a dot for each sound. So it would look like at. And then along the bottom here, they would drag their finger along to help them blend those sounds together to produce the word mat. Mat. Now there are many different ways you can do this. Sometimes people will use chips or counters or erasers or Hot Wheels or whatever, and they will have the student or their child drag the object down to help them with the sound. That is great, and sometimes that works with my students. I do small group instruction, so sometimes it's best just to keep things really, really simple so that we can get through the lesson and really get to the concepts. But it is important to note that with our struggling learners or maybe learners that are more kinesthetic and need to incorporate more senses when they're learning, please absolutely have them manipulate different objects. So to include the orthographic mapping or the writing piece, I use a dry erase marker, good old-fashioned dry erase marker, and then I will have the student write the focus spelling pattern or the focus skill at the top. So let's say we're focusing on the short vowel sound a. I will have the student write that at the top, and depending on their level and the skills that we have covered or reviewed, I may have them add the accent. I may add this just so that they know it's a short A sound. And so to incorporate that writing, same thing. Each sound here or each letter that represents, letter or letters that represents a sound will get its own box. So again, if the word was mat, it will look like a, t. Drag it along here, mat. And then to have the students practice their handwriting, I would have them write the word down here, mat. Sometimes I will have my students review vowel, consonant, silent E. So same thing, vowel, consonant, little silent E. Sometimes I may have them, depending on which vowel, consonant, E pattern we're working on, I may have them write, A space E as a reminder. But with this, what's really important with these boxes, what I really want to emphasize is that these boxes are sound boxes. So each letter may not get its own box, but each sound should get its own box. So let's say the word is gate, like open the gate and walk through. Same thing, G, A, T. And then I would have the student write a little E here to remind them that the E is still there, right? But it's silent and it does not get its own sound. So it shares a box with the last sound. And sometimes if I'm really reviewing that skill or really focusing on that skill with struggling learners or struggling readers, I will have them actually draw an arrow from the E to the A to show that this E is making the A say its name. Sometimes I'll have students cross out the E so that they don't make the sound because, again, these are sound boxes. But sometimes it confuses my kids. I work with primarily multilingual learners and English language learners, and I have found that crossing out the E confuses them more. So I skip this step with some of my learners. Now it helps with some of them, but for others, I tell them just, write it there and draw their arrow to help them. And so these are really easy to make. I got this sheet protector from Dollar Tree. When I bought it, it was $1. Now it's probably $1.25. So $1.25 sheet protector. This is cardstock, but truthfully, you can use any kind of paper because it is going to be in that sheet protector. I use a regular Expo marker, a regular Expo eraser. This side, you can find this pretty much anywhere on the internet, right? Your sound boxes with the lines. But this is something that I got from a colleague. Adding these dotted lines in your sound boxes when you are doing that orthographic mapping to help students correctly form their letters. Cardstock, sheet protector, really, really simple. Strategy that I got from the same colleague. She has this picture and, handwriting lines page that she puts in here. It shares the same sleeve as the sound boxes, and it helps when we're doing word chains. And we turn the board this way, and kids usually freak out like, oh my God, what are we doing? I'm like, it's cool, it's cool. we're gonna do some word chains, and I can do another video on word chains if you think that'll be helpful. And same thing, so I'll put the focus skill up here. Let's say we're doing A, consonant E, and then we do our word chain. So, okay, spell the word gate. Without erasing gate, make gate say mate. So this requires students to substitute phonemes and practice letter formation, practice handwriting. Fantastic. You have mate, now make mate say late. You have late, now make late say slate. And so, sometimes it's, oh my gosh, sometimes it's just adding phonemes. Ay, ay, ay. And so at the end, I'll have the students go to the top of the list, and then, so I'll have the student go to the top of the list, and then all together we'll read the words that they have written. So gate, mate, late, slate. This really builds confidence with students. They're like, oh snap, I can't read. And then it's like, oh snap, actually you can. You just changed one letter or you added a letter, and now we have 4 different words. You can read. You are a reader. So this is really, really helpful. Again, shout out to my colleague Ashley for introducing me to this particular strategy used in this way. It's really, really helpful for kids, and it really, really boosts confidence. If you found this video to be helpful, if there are any parts of the video that you want me to break down and do a completely separate video on, please let me know down in the comments. But in the meantime, just give this a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.